Hi, Clifton. Thank you so much for sharing some of the main things that you learned in the class over the past few weeks. I really agree with all that you had to say, and I especially agree with what you had to say regarding boundaries. Establishing boundaries is so important, but it's also very difficult. In fact, this is actually something that I have been struggling with or working through as a newer pastor. It's difficult because there are some people who I am going to be counseling, who I'm going to form a helping relationship with as a pastor, and then I might end up in their small group another day during the week. And so it is tricky and is something that I'm working through, and I certainly will take advice from pastors if they have that for me. But I think that what you said is key. Awareness. Awareness helps me to know how to establish boundaries, and then it will also help me to know when I am crossing boundaries. And I think awareness is important for any person who is going to be in a professional role where they're helping others. I also agree with what you had to say in that there is no decision-making tool or code of ethics that works perfectly to solve ethical issues. I wish, but that's not the case. Ethics are gray, and it's not easy. But we as Christians, we have the wonderful privilege of seeking God and relying on Him. I love Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 3, which says, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." So we can call to God, we can seek Him in prayer, and then we can be confident that He will answer us and give us all we need to do His work. Because really, it's His work. The people that we are helping, the people that we are serving, are actually His people. And so that is something that's reassuring. If it's God's people, if it's His work, we can trust that He'll give us what we need and show us how to be ethical professionals. And this kind of leads perfectly into the last point you made in your post. It is so incredibly important for us to have values as leaders. I think it's key. According to Consoli et al., 1999, professional values, quote, give form to their practice, goals and tasks, and even their definition of successful counseling, end quote. Our values shape who we are as people, and they certainly influence our worldview and the way that we see things. It is important for us to know our values so that we do not impose them on our clients, which many ethical codes say professionals should avoid doing. We've read lots of different ethical codes throughout the duration of this course, and lots of them have said that. So that's good. But also our values help us remain all around ethical people. For example, my values are centered around being a Christian. They just are. And as a result of that, my thoughts and behaviors are influenced by those values. So a lot of them are influenced by the Bible. So holiness. As I walk in holiness with God and serve Him and others, I can pinpoint that back to a value. I value holiness, and that affects my behaviors, it affects my thoughts, it affects how I live my life. And if a professional does not have his or her values defined prior to beginning a helping career, that can potentially result in that professional being swayed by a client's beliefs. It can result in them imposing their beliefs on clients, and it can ultimately result in them acting unethical all around. And so I think it's important for us in our stage of learning to really define those values prior to entering into the helping field. So thank you so much, Clifton. It's been awesome reading and learning from you this semester, and I hope that you have a great Christmas break, and maybe I will see you in a future course.